Good evening and welcome to the Guyana TV9 News Bulletin for today, Tuesday, December 9, 2025. I am Faith Sandy. In the headlines tonight, President Ali reveals major discrepancies in driver's license system audit. Corrective action mandated. Guyana and Grenada strengthen bilateral ties. Grenadian honorary consulate opens in Georgetown. Defense's constitutional claims already settled in law and cannot block extradition. AG. Minister Prasad sounds alarms on rising wave of digital violence during 16 days of activism. And President Ali announces mandatory academic requirement for GPF ranks. Now for the news in depth. President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali on Tuesday highlighted that early findings from an audit have raised significant concerns, revealing discrepancies in Guyana's driver's license system that demand immediate attention. An audit uncovered a troubling inconsistency. While 150 individuals passed the theory exam, a staggering 400 received practical certificates. This kind of discrepancy, the president said, is not only alarming but highlights significant gaps in the system. More from Colin Abrams.
President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali has emphasized the increasing integration of government systems, introducing a new measure aimed at enhancing transparency and accountability, the post-audit process. This initiative, designed to improve the efficiency of public service delivery, involves key collaboration between the Guyana Police Force, the Guyana Revenue Authority, the Ministry of Governance, and the Ministry of Home Affairs. One of the first areas targeted by the post-audit process concerns the issuance of driver's licenses. Early findings from the audit have raised significant concerns, revealing discrepancies in the system that demand immediate attention. Using cutting-edge technology, the government has been able to track the entire licensing process, from theory exam results to practical certification and ultimately to the issuance of licenses.
So we can tell, and we have been able to tell because of the system, all those who wrote the theoretical exam and pass, and that is the only way you can move forward with the practical exam. And we can tell you all those who got a practical certificate, and then all those who actually got a license, a GRE. So you've been able to triangulate the entire process, and we understand the discrepancies within the whole process. Because if you have 150 people passing the theory, but 400 people getting the practical certificate, something is wrong. You agree with me?
Through the integration of the data across different agencies, the inconsistencies have been identified and the government is committed to releasing the full findings publicly in the coming weeks. To address these discrepancies, the government has implemented a clear course of action. Individuals who obtained practical certification without passing the theory exam will be given a 6-week period to come forward, surrender their licenses, and reapply. After this period, the government will publish the names of those involved, suspend their licenses, and initiate prosecution. Moreover, anyone found to have facilitated these errors, including corrupt practices or fraudulent behavior, will face legal consequences.
We have all the names of persons who got a practical paper but never passed the theoretical exam. And we're going to give those persons in the public domain 6 weeks to surrender themselves and go through back the process. Or after that, we're going to publish all the names in the newspaper, suspend the license, and prosecute them. That is the only way we can beat this corruption.
The findings have also revealed that the Guyana Revenue Authority issued more licenses than they were qualified candidates. The government has made it clear that these practices will not be tolerated, and technology will be fully deployed to ensure that such errors are corrected moving forward. The head of state highlighted that digitization, technology, and education within the force all align with Ghana's broader development goals. The most important message, he said, is the integration of the force's strategic vision with national development. He stressed that security remains the foundation of prosperity and human development. Although policing work can feel routine, he reminded officers that they form an essential part of the national development architecture. The president addressed the role of technology, stating that it must be properly controlled, understood, and deployed. Technology, he noted, can become a liability when used incorrectly. He encouraged officers to embrace technological tools while ensuring they learn how to operate them effectively. Colwyn Abrams, Guyana TV9 News.
Georgetown is now home to Grenada's new honorary consulate, marking a new significant milestone in the bilateral relationship between the two nations. The official opening ceremony, attended by a host of regional leaders including President Dr. Irfan Ali and Grenadian Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell, served as a powerful demonstration of Caribbean unity and cooperation, emphasizing the urgent need to modernize outdated regional trade laws and remove barriers hindering closer economic integration.
President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali emphasized the historic nature of the occasion and welcomed Grenadian Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell, noting that Mitchell's presence underscored Grenada's commitment to enhancing its relationship with Guyana. President Ali highlighted the long-standing friendship between the two nations, rooted in shared regional identity, mutual respect, and the principles of Caribbean integration. He acknowledged recent progress, including last year's Grenadian trade and investment mission to Guyana and the establishment of direct air travel between the two countries. He explained that improved connectivity not only promotes commerce, but also builds cultural and people-to-people ties, strengthening the broader Caribbean community.
The mission explored opportunities across various sectors and reflected Grenada's interests in forging practical, mutually beneficial partnerships. The delegation's engagement with Guyanese agencies and private sector bodies had early groundwork for what I believe is destined to become a robust commercial relationship. Another milestone was the launch of air flights between Guyana and Grenada. Connectivity is an economic bridge, a cultural bridge, and a symbolic bridge. It opens pathways for enhanced business travel, it stimulates tourism flows, it supports family connections, it encourages new forms of people-to-people interaction, and it strengthens the Caribbean identity itself.
President Ali discussed Guyana's readiness to finalize a comprehensive bilateral agreement with Grenada in early 2026 to supply consistent, high-quality agricultural products. He encouraged joint investment in revitalizing Grenada's spice industry so that both nations can benefit from processing and packaging products for regional and international markets. He stressed the need for modernizing outdated regional trade laws and encouraged Caribbean leaders to remove barriers that prevent closer economic cooperation. According to the president, the responsibility for meaningful change lies not in legal restrictions, but in regional commitment and collective will.
If there is a law that prevents you from buying more food from a sister state, democracy allows you the latitude to fix that problem in your parliament. It is not the law. It is our commitment. It is our selfishness. And if we want to win and win together, we have to break those decade-old barriers.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister of Grenada, Dickon Mitchell, expressed gratitude for Guyana's swift and substantial assistance following Hurricane Beryl, which severely impacted Grenada. He also noted that climate-related disasters affecting Jamaica and other Caribbean nations further highlight the region's shared vulnerability. Mitchell recognized Guyana's rapid economic transformation and described it as a catalyst for wider Caribbean development. He emphasized that Caribbean nations must rely on one another rather than expecting external assistance. He identified the direct flight between Guyana and Grenada as a clear example of practical regional cooperation and encouraged continued efforts to overcome logistical challenges within CARICOM.
It's not easy. Regional travel, logistics within the region is a major challenge, but we are not going to solve it by running away from it. We have to tackle it head on. And in a sense, having someone like Kumal in this position allows us to, in a very frontal and direct way, identify the challenges, identify the bottlenecks, and then work towards finding solutions to enhance economic cooperation between Grenada, Guyana, and by extension, the northern eastern Caribbean, because Guyana is the gateway to South America in the Caribbean. And we have to recognize that strategic advantage that Guyana has and be able to ensure that all of us in CARICOM look within the region to addressing a lot of the economic woes that we have encountered over the last several decades. There's no point in
Newly appointed Honorary Consul Dr. Kamal Singh expressed gratitude for the trust placed in him by the government of Grenada. He stated that the consulate will serve as a central point for business engagement, support services, cultural exchange, and greater involvement in Grenadians in Ghana's rapidly growing economy. Singh noted that the opening of the consulate represents an important step forward in the long-standing relationship between the two nations and affirmed his commitment to strengthening cooperation with openness, dedication, and transparency. The establishment of the Grenadian Honorary Consulate in Georgetown marks a renewed phase of bilateral engagement between Ghana and Grenada. Both leaders signaled clear intentions to expand cooperation in tourism, trade, food, security, transportation, and diplomacy. Calvin Abrams, Ghana TV9 News.
A quarantined man, 29-year-old Sanjay Peters, has been found guilty of raping a 5-year-old boy, a crime committed 7 years ago. Peters was immediately remanded to prison following the verdict, and he is expected to be sentenced on January 6, 2026 by Justice Sandil Kisoon. The victim's mother expressed relief, saying, quote unquote, "I have waited 8 years for this. I finally get justice." The offenses took place between July and August 2018 and involved a child known to the convict as a family member. The case, prosecuted by State Counsel Cecilia Kerbin, featured testimonies from 7 witnesses, while Peters was represented by attorney-at-law Kevin Morgan. Peters had been released into his mother's custody during the trial, but will now await sentencing in custody. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal SC has firmly dismissed the constitutional objections raised by the defense in the ongoing extradition proceedings against the Mohammeds. Nandlal argues that these objections are based on legal points that have already been definitively settled by Guyana's higher courts and therefore cannot succeed before a magistrate. More from Adana Doric.
The Attorney General reminded that the magistrate is legally bound by the precedents established by the Court of Appeal and the High Court, ruling that have already addressed and rejected the very issues the defense is attempting to revive.
And we have been extraditing people to the US over the last 30 years on a regular basis using the same treaty because we have 2 decisions of the court saying that the treaty is not deficient as they are now alleging. The point I am making is that none of the arguments are new. They are well-trodden paths that we have traveled before, and we have rulings coming from higher courts, which rulings are binding on the magistrate.
Nandlal clarified the procedure for handling the defense's request to refer constitutional questions to the High Court. He explained that a referral can only happen if the magistrate is satisfied that the issues raised are not frivolous and vexatious. According to AG, the law is already clear. He cited early rulings, particularly the 2018-2019 Marvin Williams v. Director of Prisons case, which found identical constitutional concerns to be without
There's
merit.
2 options that are available. One, the magistrate can uphold their submissions and refer the questions to the High Court for determination. Or the magistrate can dismiss their application and rule, as she is empowered to do under the Constitution, that the questions raised are frivolous and vexatious, in which case the magistrate is then required to proceed to embark upon the committal hearing now. A committal hearing to it, whether or not to extradite, to make the committal order to
The
extradite.
Attorney General further highlighted two landmark Court of Appeal decisions, Garfield Sobers and Stephen King, which upheld the validity of Guyana's 1935 extradition treaty with the United States. These rulings directly contradict the defense's current claim that the treaty is defective under the legal doctrine of stare decisis. The magistrate has no authority to depart from such binding appellate judgments.
The decision to extradite is that of a minister, not that of the magistrate. All the magistrate is required to do is to say that there is sufficient evidence to extradite and to make the order for extradition, or don't make the order for committal, sorry. It is the Minister of Home Affairs who makes the decision whether to extradite or not.
Nandlal also addressed the defense's reliance on the Bari Dataram case, explaining that its decision was previously criticized by judges as being inconsistent with the Superior Court of Appeal rulings. With the legal landscape firmly settled by higher courts that dictate precedent in the Guyanese legal system, he maintained that the magistrate is fully empowered to dismiss the defense's constitutional submissions and proceed directly to the committal phase of the extradition hearing, moving the current highly publicized case forward. Nazar Mohammed and his son Azruddin Mohammed, owners of the Mohammed's Enterprise, are currently undergoing extradition proceedings in Georgetown after the U.S. requested their surrender to face 11 charges, including wire fraud, money laundering, and conspiracy, related to an alleged $50 million gold export and tax evasion scheme. U.S. authorities sanctioned the pair in June 2024 for alleged public corruption and fraud. In the current court hearings, the defense is challenging the constitutionality of amendments to Guyana's Fugitive Offenders Act and the validity of the 1935 extradition treaty. Attorney General Anil Nandlal is arguing that these legal challenges are frivolous and vexatious, asserting that higher courts have already settled these matters in previous rulings and that the magistrate is bound by these precedents to proceed with the committal hearings. Adana Dore, Guyana TV9 News.
The Amerindian hostel in Georgetown is facing critical overcrowding and disrepair, but immediate fixes are underway and a long-term solution is in sight. Minister of Amerindian Affairs, Sarah Brown Shadiq, has responded to concerns by explaining that the decades-old building, which accommodated over 12,000 people this year only, has simply overgrown its capacity. The ministry is currently executing urgent repairs to manage the high turnover while simultaneously preparing to break ground on a brand new modern facility starting in the new year. More in this report.
The high volume of daily visitors results in constant wear and tear, leading to frequent breakdowns of essential fixtures like washrooms and toilets. The ministry reports having to replace parts almost daily to maintain basic sanitation standards.
People coming through every single day. Washrooms get broken, toilets, the bowls. These are things we replace at least every other day. We have to replace some part in the toilets.
Minister Brown emphasized that the ministry is actively addressing these immediate issues. Contrary to recent criticisms, significant repairs are already underway. According to Minister Brown, if Mr. Mohammed had visited during the week, he would have seen repairs underway. Contracts have been awarded to fix toilets, repair the ceiling, and complete other essential maintenance.
We have started, and if Mr. Mohammed would have been maybe during the week, would have seen we started work already on the compound. We have awarded the works already to start looking at the toilet repairs to the ceiling, etc. These were already awarded.
Looking toward a long-term solution, Minister Brown announced plans to construct a brand new, modern Amerindian hostel. Following presidential instructions issued last October, a team, including Director General Sonia Lachman, Yvonne Pearson, and MP Charlie, began the design process.
In this next term, we will be constructing a new Amerindian hostel, which brings us to this point. And so the long-term fix, His Excellency would have already instructed me in October to look at a design.
An architect from the Central Housing and Planning Authority has developed a full design, submitted 3 weeks ago with support from Minister Colin Crowell. Budget allocations are secured and construction is slated to begin in the new year. The new design features vital upgrades, including a dedicated recreational area and a specific rehabilitation space for patients seeking medical care in Georgetown.
We have put those allocations in our budget so we can have that facility started in the new year. In the design, we would have proposed that there is a space where persons can have recreational activities while in Georgetown. A space where they can do rehab, because sometimes persons come on clinic.
The new facility aims to better support recovering patients and will ideally be situated near the upcoming pediatric and maternal hospital, ensuring easier access to crucial medical services. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
Guyana will receive a $17 million signing bonus for offshore Block S7 awarded to Ghana's Sibley Energy Limited, exceeding the usual ceiling for shallow water assets by $7 million. The milestone was confirmed today as CEO Beatrice Menchia Tayu signed a new petroleum exploration license (PEL) with the government of Guyana. The agreement highlights Guyana's strategy to attract international investors and expand its offshore oil portfolio, while Sibley Energy secures a major entry into the South American energy market. More news after the break. Stay tuned.
Channel 9 is now Guy TV9, proudly under new management. We're building stronger with a balanced and open platform for all advertisers. Whether you're promoting a business, service, or event, your message belongs right here. So choose your spot, news, prime time, or anytime, and reach viewers across Guyana. With affordable rates and professional service, Guy TV9 is your partner in progress. So visit us at Lot 21A, Lamaha Street, Georgetown, in the Century 21 building, or call 600-5006 or 761-5006. Guyana TV9. New leadership, fresh outlook, real results.
Celebrate Christmas the Guyanese way with 7 days of magic and adventure. Feel the streets come alive with lights, decor, and carols. Share in the delicious joy of favorites like pepper pot, black cake, and even ginger beer. Then explore Guyana's attractions, the majestic kite show, scenic tour on the Demerara Essequibo, and Mahaika rivers. 7 days, one unforgettable Christmas. Join us. Let's discover Guyana this Christmas.
Want to place your death announcements and in memoriam messages on Channel 9? Call 592-761-5006, 710-5008, 600-5006. Or visit our office at Lot 85A Lamaha Street, Albertown, Georgetown, Century 21 building.
Guyana, get ready for Sundown 2025, the country's biggest electronic music and arts festival, featuring Danik from the Netherlands, Walshifier of Major Lazer, Lip Prince, creator of Regatronics, and Helang from New York. An open-air festival packed with massive light shows, art installations, and the main stage by the ocean. December 6th, Marriott Beachfront, Georgetown. Time, 3 p.m. till 2 a.m. Tickets available online at ticketgateway.com. Eventbrite and Potsalt. For physical ticket locations, visit BPM Guyana on all socials. Sundown 2025. Guyana's EDM movement starts here.
Welcome back. You're watching the Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali used the occasion of the Guyana Police Force's traditional Christmas breakfast on Tuesday to announce a transformative educational mandate for the entire force. Highlighting the importance of professional development and long-term career growth, President Ali declared that within the next 3 years, every officer must achieve CXC passes in mathematics and English, an initiative supported by the newly launched Free Access Guyana Digital School platform.
The President has set a clear academic mandate. Over the next 3 years, every member of the Guyana Police Force must achieve CXC passes in mathematics and English. To facilitate this, the government has launched the Guyana Digital School, a free 24/7 online learning platform accessible to all ranks. Senior officers have been tasked with ensuring every member is registered before the year's end.
All the junior ranks, from constable coming throughout all the ranks under your command, we now have the Guyana Digital School available 24/7. We must work in the next 3 years to ensure every single one of our rank pass mathematics and English for CXC. Take it upon yourself to get them registered on the Guyana Digital School before the end of this year.
This initiative aims to build a police force where every officer meets core academic standards. Achieving these qualifications will not only raise professional standards but also unlock new career pathways. President Ali emphasized that officers approaching retirement age 55 are not seeing an end to their careers, but rather a transition into broader national opportunities.
Take that as your challenge and let us have a police force in which every single rank and officer can say, and we can say proudly, they all have passes in mathematics and English. That will be something to celebrate. There are very few countries that can speak about all of these opportunities we're given. We want you not to look at them only as opportunity, but look at them as an investment in making your life a journey of fulfillment.
Government support now enables officers to retire with a degree, diploma, or master's, ensuring continued service and financial stability. Education is framed not merely as a requirement, but as an investment in personal dignity and long-term growth. A more educated force, President Ali noted, strengthens public trust, enhances leadership, and modernizes the security sector.
You are in a phase of your life when you're building beyond retirement. And your government is supporting you with better salaries and ensuring that you retire in a state of dignity. Do not throw away years of service with foolish decisions. And when I say preparing beyond retirement, I mean that. The opportunities in this country require your services long after 55. We are giving you the opportunity to retire not only with a bigger and better pension, but to retire with a degree, a master's, or some form of professional qualification so that your life and your service will continue for your family and your country.
President Ali encouraged officers to embrace these opportunities, urging every member to utilize the tools provided to build a safer, stronger, and smarter force for Guyana. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
Digital violence is rapidly becoming one of the most pervasive and least recognized forms of abuse. A warning issued by Minister of Human Services and Social Security, Dr. Vindya Prasad, as Guyana observed the 16 days of activism. More from Adana Dark.
Minister Prasad explained that many people still do not understand the scope of digital violence, even though they encounter it every day. She pointed out that cyberstalking, online harassment, and bullying have become common experiences, with platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok increasingly used as tools for abuse. The minister highlighted the growing misuse of artificial intelligence, noting that people are now using AI to impersonate others, steal identities, and manipulate images. This includes creating fake profiles using personal photos without permission and producing hyper-realistic yet fabricated images by placing victims' faces on other bodies or in stage scenes. According to her, such actions can cause irreparable emotion harm and reputational damage, especially to individuals in public life. Prasad warned that the glossy surface of social media masks a dangerous undercurrent. Although digital spaces offer opportunities for learning, sharing, and global connection, they also provide fertile ground for new forms of exploitation.
And with the advent of AI, what are people doing? Well, they're using AI for all kinds of things. One, to impersonate people, which is called identity theft, where they're going out there and utilizing people's photos, creating fake profiles, and putting things out there in their names. And then worse than that, creating images, like taking someone's head, putting it on someone's bodies, putting people in situations where they never were. And you know, when they do all of these kinds of things, it causes terrible harm to a person, destroys people.
Young people, she said, are particularly vulnerable. Many share intimate photos or videos with someone they trust, unaware that once uploaded, even briefly, these files can be copied, stored, and circulated indefinitely. She explained that this loss of control over personal images often becomes a gateway for humiliation, blackmail, and other forms of digital abuse.
A lot of young people are getting caught in this digital violence trap because they take videos, they take nude photos, they share these things. They might share it with someone they trust, or they might post it somewhere. All of these things stay on the net. They stay in the social media space. Even after it is deleted, it still is out there.
The minister also addressed gender digital violence, noting that women are disproportionately targeted through harassment, stalking, and fabricated online content designed to shame or intimidate them. Additionally, she identified hacking from compromised Facebook accounts to breach Instagram or TikTok profiles as another rampant but often overlooked form of digital violence. Dr. Prasad said she hopes that naming and explaining these behaviors will help the public recognize and confront digital violence more effectively. As the 16 days of activism continue, she urged families, teachers, and community leaders to spread awareness and equip young people with the knowledge they need to protect themselves online. Adana Dor, Guyana TV9 News.
President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali delivered a comprehensive address during the Guyana Police Force's traditional Christmas breakfast, describing the morning as a significant opportunity for gathering, reflection, planning, and celebration. The president encouraged officers to reflect on the events of the past year and prepare for the one ahead. He noted that the Commissioner of Police had highlighted several areas of sustained improvement, emphasizing that the progress observed is consistent when examined across multiple years. Colin Abrams reports.
President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali pointed out that few countries possess development plans fully financed by their own national resources, and he explained that the Guyana Police Force projections are now fully integrated into the country's national development strategy. He highlighted that digitization, technology, and education within the force all align with Guyana's broader development goals. The most important message, he said, is the integration of the force's strategic vision with national development. He stressed that security remains the foundation of prosperity and human development. Although policing work can feel routine, he reminded officers that they form an essential part of the national development architecture. The president addressed the role of technology, stating that it must be properly controlled, understood, and deployed. Technology, he noted, can become a liability when used incorrectly. He encouraged officers to embrace technological tools while ensuring they learn how to operate them effectively.
Control, then you'll find yourself in a lot of problems. So I asked you to adopt technology, but spend time to learn the use of that technology. And for ease of example, this morning we situated someone in the room who deployed technology without the knowledge of it, so that one can have a thorough understanding of technology and the importance of learning the use of technology.
President Ali recognized every officer, from long-serving members to new recruits, for contributing to national safety. He noted that entering the holiday season does not lighten the workload of police officers. Instead, their responsibilities intensify as communities become busier. He offered special thanks to traffic ranks who work daily in all weather conditions, often without recognition. And he acknowledged investigators and patrol officers who work tirelessly behind the scenes. Their efforts, he said, demonstrate service, protection, and accountability.
The spirit of the Christmas season reminds us of the values that underpin your work: service, care, and protection. Just as Christmas is a time to give of ourselves to others, the men and women of the Guyana Police Force give of themselves every day. Your sacrifice, your time with your families, endure long hours and challenging conditions, and face risks that most of us can scarcely imagine. Yet, in doing so, you embody the every essence of the season: selflessness, compassion, and commitment to the well-being of others.
Looking ahead to the new year, he stated that national progress depends on collaboration, security, justice, and trust, values that require partnership between the police, government, and the wider society. He reaffirmed that collective efforts create a safer, more just, and more prosperous Guyana. He noted that each crime prevented, each safe roadway, and each protected life is a result of teamwork, which ultimately strengthens trust between the public and the police. Trust, he said, remains the foundation of a secure society.
There are shared goals that require partnership between the police, government, and society. By working together, we can strengthen these bonds, ensuring that every citizen feels protected and valued. Your efforts, while combined with support from the wider community and government, create a framework for a safer, more just, and more prosperous country.
President Ali thanked the force for its sacrifice and commitment, noting that their contributions have improved many lives. He acknowledged that officers felt appreciated this year through improved promotion and service recognition systems. He encouraged them to take pride in their accomplishments during the holiday season, as their work has strengthened and safeguarded the nation. Colwyn Abrams, Guyana TV9 News.
Thank you, Colwyn. Now for some regional news. The Jamaican government has approved a $150 million loan to the Jamaica Public Service Company, allowing more overseas line workers to help restore power in hurricane-hit Western Jamaica. Energy Minister Darrell Vaz confirmed the loan on Monday via X, calling it a key in speeding up electricity restoration. The funding follows long negotiations and is aimed at repairing and rebuilding the damaged grid faster, ensuring that affected communities regain power as quickly as possible. Internationally, on Tuesday, a fierce fire tore through a 7-story office building belonging to Terror Drone Indonesia in central Jakarta. The blaze, which began around midday on the building's first floor and quickly spread upward, claimed at least 22 lives, including a pregnant woman, and left dozens more injured or traumatized. Investigators suspect the fire was triggered by a battery, possibly a lithium battery, stored on the ground floor, though official forensic investigations are still underway. And that has brought us to the end of tonight's newscast.